Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we're going to create some custom box shadows today. We've got a couple of rows here. The top one, the darker blue one, I've created those box shadows with a bit of custom CSS, really easy to do. And the bottom one we've just created manually using the onboard features of the Divi theme. And I'll show you the differences, really easy to do. I've got my Visual Builder already enabled here, so let's go ahead and start a new row and we'll start creating some box shadow items. I'm going to put 3 columns in there. I'm simply going to use the call to action module, and let's just give it a different background color to differentiate. Okay, well, Divi comes with some great box shadow options. If we go over to the design tab, you can go down to box shadow, and they've got a bunch of presets for you, and they're pretty good. I use these all the time. But if you want to take things a step further, you can add whatever preset it is you want and go down and dial in your own kind of positioning. So I put this little box shadow in right there. Horizontal position is going to move it left and right. I'm sure you can see that. Let's take that back down to 0. If you do something you don't like it, just select it and delete it. It'll return to the default value for you. Vertical position obviously is going to take it up and down. So I think you can see that there going up and down. Blur strength is the amount that it's sort of blurred out there. If you add more, you can see it dissipating. Add less and it becomes more of a solid color. And the spread strength itself, let's make that color a bit darker so you can see it a bit better. But the spread strength itself, I'm going to make this color slightly darker by taking the opacity away a little bit. Opacity is transparency or see-throughness. And the spread strength, as you can see, spreads it out more or less. Really easy to do, and you get some great effects that way. Sometimes I find it a lot easier though by just using a bit of custom CSS. And don't let that put you off. It's really easy. Any code I use I'll put down below the video. For anybody who wants to do it that way, let's go in there. You can go to your Advanced tab, go to your Custom CSS, and in the actual main element you can start creating your own box shadow if you want. So the first setting that we've got there is the horizontal spread, and I just want that to be 0. I don't want it to be anywhere, so I'm going to put a 0. I'll put pix in just for habit. So it's going to be aligned exactly with the module. It's not going to be any left and right. The vertical, the up and down, I kind of want that pushed down by about 35 pix or so. So I'm going to put 35 pix in there. Then the blur, I'm going to give it sort of 20 pixels blur. And with custom codes, you can spread out the blur radius if you want to by just adding another one. And I'm going to give this a bit of negative just purely because it'll give a nice effect. And play with these settings and you can get some wonderful things. I know you can't see anything, it's because I've not added a color. And the last thing we need to do is just add a little bit of color. So I'm going to say hashtag 777. Obviously use whatever color you want. Now you can see that box shadow there. And as you can see, it's pretty much identical to the ones we've done manually. And like I say, sometimes I find it just easier to code rather than using the settings because I can do it a lot quicker. So there's 2 little options for you. And I'll paste this bit of code down below the video here and play with it and you'll see exactly what's going on. If we make this instead of 0, 10 pix, you'll see it shoot to the right there. Make it even more extreme. Let's make it 50 pix. And it's way over there. Up and down 35 pixels. Let's make this 50 pixel also. Not 505, 50. There we go. You've got a little shadow offset to the bottom left there. Bring the blur effect up or down. Bring it down to make more of a solid color. Bring it up to make much more of a blur. And the blur radius you can change. If I actually take that away, you can see that it's more of a solid colour when we take that away. If I put it back again, and let's make that 50 so you can see the difference. And it's a real blur, barely even see it, it's so blurred out there. So there you go guys, there's several ways of actually creating your custom box shadows. Like I say, it's great to add a bit of code and do it, and I'll put the original code that I put in there down below. And of course you've got these options right here in the box shadow to do it manually with the little sliders. Either way you can get some wonderful effects, and Divi gives you all kind of options to create some amazing little box shadows. Actually, I'm really impressed. So there you go guys, there's two ways of how to create some custom box shadows, and of course this will work for any module. And if you use the manual method like we've got here, and I'll just paste back in the original that I had there, you can just copy this line of code and put it into any module you like, and it will affect that module. Let's affect perhaps the image of this blurb module. We did this yesterday. We'll go into our module here. This is just a regular blurb module. You can go over to the custom CSS part of this. And we've actually got the blurb image as a box right there. So if I add the box shadow to that, and we'll go in and pop our code in there. And now our little image has got that same box shadow. So don't be afraid to use CSS code. I know they've got some great manual options here, but CSS does open up a whole load of new possibilities for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this today guys and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.